When people find out that I've been traveling the world and working remotely for 3 years, they always ask me the same thing. Adam, aren't you tired of traveling? Adam, why do you travel so much? Adam, when are you going to come home and settle down? Well, to answer that, I'm going to give 7, don't know how many fingers I'm holding up, benefits of working remotely. I've got them all on the sheet and I'm going to explain them to you right now, and I guarantee you that at least 5 of the 7 you've never even heard of before, and chances are you've never even thought of them. And number 7 is going to change the way you think about living your life, no matter if you travel the world or if you stay home and never leave your city. It's actually interesting. Sometimes when I'm in America, I'm oftentimes shocked to find out that it's something crazy like 70% of the population don't even have a passport. They can't even leave the country if they want to. And I actually remember checking into a hotel in Virginia. It's a small countryside hotel. And when I handed over my passport, the guy looks at it and then he looks at me and he was like, "You're from Australia? What are you doing over here?" And he was basically saying a lot of the people that stay in this hotel that he works at are locals from America traveling through America, and it's very rare that he sees someone in that hotel flying from the outside. So let's jump into the 7 benefits, and I want you to think on, why would you even want to travel in the first place? Why would you even want to expand your world and experience all the things that travel has to offer, as well as working remotely and making money remotely? And then, of course, compare it to this list, the 7 benefits that I've come up with in my experience of, as I said, 3+ years of traveling the world, visiting at least 14 countries a year. Currently in my 4th year of traveling. I'm not sure if I'm going to hit 14 countries this year, but the way that I travel has slightly changed compared to when I started out, as I've learned things as I've developed. So the very first reason, the first benefit that you get while traveling, and I guarantee you haven't thought of this, is you get to live 3 lives in one. Now, what do I mean by that? I remember being in this very house that I'm at right now, this beautiful location here in Sydney, Australia, after my first year of travel. And what just blew my mind is I couldn't believe it had been 1 year since I started traveling. To be honest, it felt more like 3 years. And that made me realize I had been living 3 years in one. Now, how's that even possible? Did I go crazy? Why would I even be saying these things? And what I realized when I actually reflected on it, see, most people when I came back, they said to me, "Oh, the year's gone so quick." You might have even noticed that yourself. As you're, sometimes it's like, right now it's May, right? People are like, "Wow, where did January, February, March, April, May. We're in the 5th month of 12. We're almost halfway through the year and people are like, wow, it's gone so quick." Well, come October, November, December, people are like, where did the year go? For me, it's the opposite. I'm like, wow, it's been such a long year in a good way. And the reason for this is, as you visit new locations, as you see new things, as you arrive in a new city, you're going to be active, right? You're not going to get into the daily boring routine that most people experience, where they wake up in the morning, usually tired, hitting the snooze button, dragging themselves to the office or to whatever they're doing for the day, some sort of work, and then come home exhausted, cook dinner, go to sleep, and do the same thing again. And when you just keep doing that on repeat, this routine of being stuck inside an office, of early mornings and late nights, of being tired all the time, well, when there's no new novelty, when there's nothing new that you're doing, generally what happens is time passes very quickly. On the other hand, when you're traveling, let's just say that you're working in the day. Well, what are you going to do at nighttime when you're in a new city? What do you normally do? That's right, you go explore, you go see the nightlife, you go walk around, you go eat in a restaurant, a local restaurant, you go hang out with friends, you do new things when you're traveling, when you're on vacation, right? Your routine is very different. And when you break up your routine and you're working at the same time, you're essentially jamming at least two lives in one, sometimes 3. So you'll wake up in the morning and you might go walk around a new city because it's new, you're excited to explore it. Whereas in your hometown, how excited are you to go explore the area that you're living in, right? Not very excited. When you're waking up in Prague or Amsterdam or in Brazil, right? you're going to be excited. You want to see what's out there. You want to see how the locals live. Then you do your work, which you're going to do as quick as you can so that you can go out and enjoy the evening or the afternoon where you go explore once again, just like you're in a new city. You're going to be doing a whole lot more than what you would normally be doing if you're at home, right? Because there's a lot more to do. So you get to live at least 2 years, but sometimes even 3 years in one, compressed into one. Time's going to feel way longer, and you're not going to wake up one day and be like, wow, my life is passing me by. You're actually going to feel like, I've got so much out of this year. I'm so happy with what I'm doing. I just want to keep this lifestyle up where I get to live 3 years in one. So the second benefit of working remotely and traveling the world is you get to grow your hippocampus, right? And the hippocampus is a brain region that actually grows when you're exposed to new things, right? And this region is known to help you with your memory, so you can actually remember things longer. You can actually slow aging if you continue to grow and challenge your hippocampus. And thirdly, it increases your creativity and your ability to learn. Now, you probably didn't know this, but Bill Gates, when he started Microsoft, he rode a bicycle to the offices every day. And what he would do, this is what the billionaire Bill Gates did, is he would ride his bicycle home, but every single day he would take a new route home. He wouldn't always go the same way. For you, as you're traveling to the office, for example, or you're going to the gym, you're probably taking the same route. In fact, you may have even experienced it where, let's say that you're traveling to somewhere new and you're used to driving to the office every single day. You start driving, you know you're going somewhere new, but then all of a sudden you find yourself taking the off-ramp, or you're taking certain roads that lead you to your office, and you're like, damn, I missed the road I was meant to go, because you're naturally just conditioned to go to the same place over and over again, do the same routes. Well, guess what? When you're in a new country, everything's new. A new city, everything is novel. You have to think about which way you're going to go. As you're walking, you're seeing new buildings, you're seeing new shops, you're seeing new cultures, you're seeing a whole new world around you. And as that happens, your brain is being stimulated, and your hippocampus, more specifically, is being forced to grow, because it grows when it gets exposed to new concepts, new ideas, and new things. And that's what travel does for you. It exposes you to a whole range of new environments, new things, new people, new everything. Everything is new. And what happens when everything is new? Your brain actually grows, your hippocampus expands, and as I said, you're going to become a better learner, you're going to have a stronger memory. This is all scientifically proven. You're going to be more creative, and you're going to actually slow the aging of your brain, which is, people spend thousands of dollars on pills and supplements and things every year to slow down aging, to extend the lifespan of their brain. Well, you can just do it through traveling, right? The third benefit of working remotely is you get to live in summer year round. I wonder if we're still recording. Let me just check on my little thing here. I'm gonna assume that I am. We are still going. Great. So the third benefit of working remotely, and I'm checking my list here because I want to make sure I don't miss anything for you, is you get to live in summer all year round. And if you're a winter person, you get to live in winter all year round. How's this possible? Well, half of the world is living in summer while the other half is living in winter, and vice versa. So you can choose what kind of temperature you want to live in, and you can essentially chase the sun, or chase the snow, or chase the winter, or chase autumn, chase spring, chase the fall, whatever you like. You can live that year round. Pretty damn cool. I like summer, so for me, I like living in places like Australia when the rest of the world, like Europe and America, is in winter. And when Australia is in winter, which is what we're going into now, I like to visit warmer places like Europe and America, or places like South America, or even Southeast Asia, so I can constantly live in the sun. I've got sun shining on me right now. It feels great. There's actually places in the world, like in Europe, when it gets cold, in winter and there's less sunlight in the sky, depression actually increases if people don't continue taking vitamin D, which they would naturally be getting from the sun. And so as a result of that, you don't ever have to experience that. You can constantly live in summer, which is actually a beautiful, inspiring, passionate, fun way to live. Now, the fourth reason, the fourth benefit of working remotely is you experience a different culture wherever you are. You'll start to realize that every single country, every single city has a different culture. And when you're in a different culture, you get to understand people better, right? You get to understand, you get to relate to the people who you grew up with, you get to relate to new people, and you get to relate to people that you're meeting. And because you're experiencing different cultures, you're going to start to appreciate people for who they are. You're going to start to realize that humans aren't that different. Everyone essentially wants the same things, and everyone is essentially living the same life but in a different country. It's pretty wild to see. And it's pretty unbelievable when you realize that we're all the same, right? I remember the first time I landed in Brazil, I was surprised at just how Portuguese, which is the language they speak in Brazil, was so widely spoken and there wasn't as much English. And it made me realize people living in Brazil were just so happy they didn't need to rely on English. They didn't want to learn English and leave that country and go try to live somewhere else. They were happy and jolly where they were, and they didn't even, you know, have the desire to move out of Brazil, which in a lot of the Western cultures, when they see a country like Brazil, they're like, oh, it must be so hard living there. People from Brazil probably just want to live elsewhere. Well, the reality is it's completely the opposite. People in Brazil love living in Brazil, right? So seeing this, I'm like, oh, people all around the world are getting their needs met, and their needs are the same that an American has or an Australian has or someone in Africa has. Everyone is just trying to get through the world, and it just gives you a better understanding and appreciation for the different cultures in the world as well as the different kinds of people in the world. Now, the fifth benefit of working remotely is you never get bored. Now, this is pretty obvious. Imagine your life if you were always on a vacation, right? You would never be bored. You would always be seeing new things, new stimulation. You'd be having a great time. You'd be socializing with new people. You'd be experiencing new people, eating in new restaurants all the time, trying different cuisines, different food. You'd be learning about history all around the world. You'd be having an incredible, great time. And that's what happens when you travel, right? I'm sure you've realized when you're on vacation, you're very rarely bored. Your routine is constantly being shaken up, and you're just having a much better experience or better time than when you're cooped at home, just trying to, experience life. But it's very hard to experience life when you're in the same routine day in and day out, and you're not really getting that growth, that exploration and that excitement that maybe you want. Maybe you want to wake up every morning super excited and can't wait to start your day because there's so much newness in your life, right? The sixth benefit of working remotely is you get to live as a minimalist. Now, there's a saying from the movie Fight Club, which I absolutely love, which is the things you own end up owning you. And what actually happens when you travel, especially long term, is you're forced to live out of a suitcase or a backpack. Now, what does that mean for you? That means that you need to be selective about what you travel with. And you come to learn that you don't need as much to live with as you think. So when you're at home in your apartment or your house, you probably have a stack of stuff, right? A wardrobe bursting with clothes. You have all this tech. You have all these different things. Furniture. You have appliances. There's so much stuff. And when you travel, especially long term, you realize you really don't need that much to live and be happy. And it really is true. The things you own end up owning you. The more you own right now, the harder it is to actually pack up and start traveling the world, right? The harder it is to go on a holiday. For example, if you've got an apartment that you're renting or you're paying a mortgage on, it might not be so easy for you to just leave, right? Because you're paying rent. Again, the things you own end up owning you. Whereas on the other hand, if you get into this long-term travel lifestyle, you literally pack everything into a bag and that's it. What you can carry is what you can keep, and you realize even the things you carry in your bag, half of it you probably don't even need. And as you travel year in, year out, you refine your list of things that you need to own, and it increases your life satisfaction because you're not worried about everything that you own. You just know everything I have is inside the suitcase and I don't need much more to live, right? You become very self-sustaining on very little, and it's very freeing in your mind. It's pretty incredible. And lastly, the seventh benefit of working remotely is, can you guess it? You create memories for life. Now, memories for life are something that can never be taken away from you. That's something that I've kind of thought about as a little kid, right? The one thing that you truly own, anything you buy, if you buy a new car, if you buy new clothes, if you buy a pet like a puppy, the reality is all those things can be taken away from you. And over time, you will lose those things. You're not going to have your clothes forever, right? You're going to evolve and continue buying new things and throwing out old clothes as they get damaged or worn or fashion trends change. But the one thing you can always keep is your memories. And so when you travel, you're going to be creating new memories. In fact, you can probably think of the last vacation or holiday you went on, and you're going to have probably some positive memories from that. Well, now I want you to imagine what would happen if you just compounded vacation after vacation after vacation after vacation. You'd have so many new experiences, so many new memories, some good, some bad. You'd have so many stories that as you get older, if you document them well, or even just remember them, make a conscious effort to remember the life you're living, you're going to have so many more stories and experiences to reflect back on than if you simply are in the same routine day in and day out of waking up, going to work and coming home and doing the same thing, set 5 days a week with a little break on the weekends, and then doing that for years on end. So memories are a valuable thing that you should cherish, hold on to, and work at actively developing. So there you have it, 7 benefits of working remotely. Some of them you probably would have never even thought of before. Let me know in the comments, what are some other benefits that you've experienced from working remotely, or let me know why do you want to work remotely. And if you've made it this far to the end, I congratulate you. You have what it takes, most likely, to travel the world and make money online. And so I want you to subscribe and hit that like button so that it benefits me and the channel. It gets out to more people, but also it tells me you like the videos, so I know I should continue making more videos like this. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.